And good morning. The last day of June and it's all said and done. We move into July 1st tomorrow. Be ready. And then Monday, don't forget, is a national holiday. Sometimes these will slip up on us. July 4th to be celebrated. Most businesses will be closed. I think most of all will be on Monday to celebrate the nation's birthday. Hope you'll do that as well. I know that we've got fireworks are going to be taking place at Meridian at Bonita Lakes. Also, Archusa will have theirs, in Turkey Creek Water Park in Newton County will have a fireworks show. Now, the Meridian fireworks show is absolutely free. You can park at the mall and go up to it and ride the trolley if you want to. Gates open at 3:30. I think food vendors around 5:30 begin. And Archusa, and also over at Turkey Creek, I think it's $10 per car to get in, which is affordable, very affordable. So whichever route that you would like to go, I hope you can check it out and be a part of it this year. So hard, almost shocking to believe that June is over, which means, we're 6 months, a little less than 6 months away from Christmas Day. Boy, we're aging quick, aren't we? It just seems to fly by. Hopefully today is going to be a wonderful day. We always pray and hope that things turn out well. Michelle McCool, how are you today? Need coffee. That is my first step in the day before me and the dogs even talk. Sophie's always waiting, and then that new little piranha that we've got that chews everything. Grabs your boot and hangs on as you go across the kitchen to get your coffee. Nothing like a pup, is it? Good morning. Let's see. Denny Bryan is up. Also, Julie Alphin. How are you? Donna Roseman. Also, let's see, Pat and Jim Coker. Hickory watching today. Miss Dawn Harlan. How are you? Glad to see you up and stirring today as well. Well, let's start talking about a few things. There is rain in the forecast today, 70% chance, and that's going to mainly fall after 2 o'clock. We'll get into radar here in just a moment, Meridian Honda radar, and show you where everything is, what to expect, and also we'll get into the tropics. Several systems out there, nothing affecting our area at this point. Judy Crawford, are you, good morning from, I guess, Hotlanta is where you are today. Hope everything's good there. Be safe. We start off with one of the headlines this morning. This is so sad. Let's go to over to the website this morning and pull this up where you can see this, where you'll know exactly where to go read the article. Philadelphia, Mississippi. Any Neshoba Countyans? This is one of those sad stories as we go to Sam Media. An elderly man was beaten to death this week with a baseball bat in Philadelphia. This man has been arrested. As I spoke with the police chief, Cortez Davis has been arrested. This happened late Monday night. They were called to the Pearl Street St. Apartments there, where they found a male subject laying face down, not moving. He was rushed to a hospital. After he got there, he succumbed to his injuries, and that was from a baseball bat. As they interviewed people, they found out that Cortez Davis had been in an argument with a 65-year-old gentleman. One thing led to another, and he took a baseball bat to him. He's been arrested for murder. He's been taken to the Winston County Jail. That is so horrible. Why anyone would want to do that? There's no argument in this world that should lead to something like that, and I think most of us agree. Horrible, horrible as we find that out. Now, our next story that we go to, this could have turned out so differently. We don't have the follow-up details as of yet. This is what I know so far. Emergency responders, and as we pull this up, you can see this story also of what we know so far. A child was saved yesterday afternoon. We don't have much more information other than that, but emergency officials were called to the southeast area late yesterday afternoon of an emergency possible drowning of a 1-year-old. They arrived on scene, found the child, and their emergency responders went to work. The child was taken to an area hospital. I got reports that the baby was crying, which was great news. I've later learned that there's a possibility that the child was transferred to a Jackson or another town medical facility for more care. I don't have much more than that right now, but the good news of the story is the baby's alive. We could be telling you a whole different story here. I want you to keep this family in your prayers. That would be just an awful thing for that to happen. As we get more details on this, we'll pass that along. But keep a family in your prayers. They need that during a time like this. I can't even imagine how I would react in a situation like this. So we do know that the child is alive, but Right now, that's all we've got. When we get more details on that, we'll pass that along. As most any day, you'll see the Meridian Police Department. My cell phone started ringing, going, what is going on? I'm around 39th Avenue, and there's more cops you can shake a stick at. Well, it happened on a routine traffic stop yesterday. And as we look at this, pulled over and hand me your driver's license, let me run this tag. As soon as they pulled over, out the car they went, and a foot chase began. It did end. They did catch him and make an arrest, and somebody was hauled off to jail. You can only assume that they had something that they weren't supposed to have. We're still waiting for an update from the Meridian Police Department on what happened for further details. We'll get that as soon as we can. Also waiting for details on the shooting that occurred. We don't know the condition that happened the night before last at Highland Park, as we talked about that. Teenager shot in the face. We have not gotten an update on that. We'll await that. We do know that they were rushed to the hospital. We do know that another juvenile was arrested. Waiting for details to come out on that as well. Hopefully we'll get that pretty soon. There's no reason for a juvenile to be out that late at night. Nothing happens good. We all know that. Well, as we look at this, this is just a common thing as you're going, and if you're around PJ's Coffee, I guess you could look out the window and see this over at Hardee's on Highway 39 and see how often this does happen. As we pull this up this morning, another wreck happened yesterday, Highway 39, there at the intersection of North Hills. As we look at this time a motorhome and an SUV were involved. The fire department, rescue is on scene along with the Meridian Police Department there. I think everybody was okay in the end. But boy, that's just a commonplace. I often urge you, before you roll through that red light, take an extra look to see what's around. Easy to run. We're getting ready, believe this or not, already talk of back to school. I spoke with Lauderdale County yesterday, and this is what's going on. You can do this online now. It started the 27th and will run through July the 25th. Now, I've got this on Sam Media. You can go here, and I've got a link to where you can find out all the information of what's going on with back to school. Really, can you believe that? It's not even the 4th, and we're already talking about going back to school. That will be here, and another grade will come. Wow, oh, wow, oh, wow. Good morning, Joyce Gressick. Glad to see you up there. James Sullivan is up. Good morning from Forest, Mississippi. Hope the sun is shining and everything's good in that area. Becky Vickers, good morning. A special meeting has been called, and we'll find out more about this. They're coming in next week to be a special guest on the show. Meridian Public School District will come in. We'll talk about some of the board meetings that have been going on, what's going on with Meridian High, with all the schools. A lot of talk about that right now, but they have a special session that's going to be today that's been called at 12 noon at the Meridian High School Multi-Purpose Building. Again, that's at 2320 32nd Street. If you'd like to attend that, more than welcome to go down and check all of that out. That's going to be going on. Also, a neighborhood watch program is going to be set up this afternoon beginning at 5:30 at the Velma Court, place around 33rd. The new Walmart building is, if you take a right there, it's going to be a new one set up. They got a press conference I'm going to go to today. It's going to be tying in the Meridian Housing Authority to introduce a new partnership there with that neighborhood watch program, the Velma Young Community Center. Hope you can make it to that. And we do that. This could be big as we take a little bit more each day of trying to fight the crime. We certainly hope so. I'll leave crime alone. We watch it daily. We tell you, as it happens, the best we know how and straightforward. This afternoon, downtown Meridian, are you going to be out? They'd like to see you. We've heard talk about it. We've seen a little bit of snippet, and I had to drive around several times before I found it because there's no other way to word it. I was simply looking in the wrong place. The new, I'm going to say it wrong, I always do, mural. It's on a building downtown. Jimmy Rogers this time is on it. I was expecting it to be facing Dumont Plaza in some shape, form, or way. And I went around and around. I couldn't find it. But it is on the back of the Vice building as you were approaching Dumont Plaza. If you were traveling west, it would be right there. They're going to be there this afternoon as we look at this. Hope you'll come out with this. Our own Britt Gully will be there to sing a Jimmy Rogers song or two. Hope you can make that. Begins at 5:30. And again, it's the Vice Building in the Regions parking lot on 4th Street. That's where it's at. If you looked also like I did there in the beginning and just didn't know what you were doing, that's me. I mentioned this earlier, but here's the brochure on this, the 4th of July celebration that's coming to Meridian. As I mentioned, the gates open at 3:30. Food vendors will start serving up at 4. I think I said that time wrong a minute ago. Hope you'll make it out for that. Always good to celebrate the 4th. Hope you'll do that. As we start looking around this morning of headlines that's going on, Mississippi next to us, this is one of those things that is horrible as we go to headlines here. And ABC 3340 out of Birmingham, Alabama, doing the reporting on this. 2 deputies in Bibb County, Alabama, late yesterday afternoon were shot in the line of duty. They were chasing a suspect in a stolen car. Shots were exchanged and the 2 deputies were injured. A manhunt is underway as they were looking for a, let me find his name here. I had it just a moment ago. I misplaced it. He's 5'9", 169 pounds, last seen. Austin Patrick is his name. Austin Patrick Hall is his name. And here is a picture. And this, as always, can show up. And this is not the biggest picture that you can show, but that's him. It's a small picture there. But we're not that far from Birmingham, so I remind you always to be careful. If something looks suspicious, call the police. We don't need anybody like that in the neighborhood, and they could have easily gotten this direction. You never know. Jackson, Mississippi. I guess we've got our own, I guess we have to clean up our own hen house before we pick on others, but Jackson, Mississippi is pretty serious when it comes to crime these days. It's so bad that an airplane's been shot. As I spoke with our friends at Dark Horse Press out of Jackson, Mississippi, I learned that a bullet, and I'll show you this. Nice folks, they cover the news just as well as I do for the Jackson area there. Dark Horse, a bullet has struck and grounded a medical plane at Hawkins Field. That's just bad. Just routine gunfire. Hit a plane. Of course, an airplane can't go up without being tested thoroughly to make sure everything's okay. It's a medical plane. They need that. So it's going to be out of commission for at least a week as they make sure everything's okay. As we keep going, one person has been arrested in Jackson. That's one out of a lot for a drive-by shooting. I surprised you on that story, that headline, didn't I? As we also look at Jackson, Mississippi, we find out that a city truck, they broke in and stole it. That's one of those vehicles. It's just kind of hard to miss that has Jackson, Mississippi on the side. But they did it. Chevrolet pickup truck. They just kind of borrowed it. As we've learned so many times in our area, and y'all know this is no lie, and it almost seems like if there's a robbery in the county, someone steals a vehicle within the city limits and uses it to go do a crime. Almost always, we're seeing that more and more and more. Have your cameras ready. It helps track somebody's stolen car. The last time that we had car break-ins in Collinsville and Snowden Hills and also at Lake Ross Collins, that was the gimmick. That's happened twice. Each subdivision that gets hit is this way. Watch your cameras. You see people walking around. It's usually not going to be a good indication as to what went on overnight. Now, overnight, I haven't gotten any confirmations, but I have heard of a lot of alarms that went off last night throughout the area. Nothing major at this point reported, but we'll watch it very closely. Over in Jackson and Hinds County, they have arrested the director of administration for embezzlement. It dates back to a job that he had at a credit union before he assumed that position. They said it didn't show up on his background when they were doing the interview. We'll leave that at that, but he has been arrested. Vicksburg, as highly crime area as any, but they are trying to get a handle on this in Vicksburg as they implement over and over, and I've talked it many times, of curfews to keep people off the street. This time, the news this morning, someone was injured in their home with a drive-by shooting. Bullet went through the wall. It's going to come to a point in America to where you build your house where your walls have steel plates put in them, right behind that brick or your wood, so a bullet can't enter. Yeah, I say that kind of jokingly, but I'm not really stretching it that far, am I? I'm not. Not a bad idea to do something like that. Jones County, we had 2 people injured in an accident on I-20. It was a single vehicle accident, rolled over and over. A child was in the vehicle along with an adult. They're going to be okay, but a scary situation there as we look across here. As we go to Hattiesburg, police were called to the scene. They did a search warrant on a home, and a lot of stolen guns were recovered. Common. That's Hattiesburg. Also, we learned let me see what this is. A Mississippi attorney has been indicted for murder, meth, child abuse, and other charges. Robert Lanier of Macomb, one of the attorneys in that area, was arrested yesterday on 7 counts of indictment. His bond was set at $200,000. He's been indicted for murder, tampering with a witness, tampering with evidence, child abuse, child endangerment, 2 counts of possession with meth. He has since bonded out of jail. We'll see how that turns out. Again, we're all innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, but that's what's happening there. As we start to look at some of the national headlines of things that will affect you, I don't care where these things go on, they do affect you in some shape, form, or way. What happens nationwide always trickles down to wherever you're watching me from, whether it's Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana. We've got a lot of folks in different states watching. New York is set to pass a law that would make it illegal, now get this, illegal to carry a firearm into a business unless they have a sign posted that it's okay to do that. That's New York. As we look at studies, this almost relates to this as they break down nationwide where crime goes on. I'm going to shock you on this headline. States that have the right to carry, that have more gun owners, have less crime. Seriously, they figured that out on their own. I say that jokingly, but so many people are against guns. It would have been a different story in World War II if we didn't have guns, wouldn't it? They would have invaded the homeland. They didn't. Criminals get what they want one way or the other is my whole point to that. But it is true, as they do the study there, states that have more guns have less crime in them. This is sad news today as we start to see. We've looked at New York over and over. I do a lot of stories about New York. I've never been there. It is kind of known as the place that you come to if you're an immigrant. Statue of Liberty has a lot of history there. Times Square, a famous place, something to see, I'm told. This is the Upper East Side, which is a more upscale. A 20-year-old woman was pushing her baby carriage yesterday, and this was witnessed. She was shot point blank in the head and murdered. The mayor promises to fix it. They haven't quite got that subway crime figured out either yet, have they? We were so close in thinking that he was going to be with him being an ex-former policeman, really tough on crime. We hope that happens. That's awful. They say so many children witnessed it. They'll have nightmares from now on. I do see where a judge has ruled that Donald Trump is no longer in contempt of court for failing to comply with the New York Attorney General subpoena. Won't y'all be glad when that gets out of the way? Like Russia, 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 every other breath. That finally went away. Now, I haven't done this and never been there in my life. I've always, me and Angie talked about it, me and my wife, about going on a cruise. Anybody ever done that? It looks like it would be fun. Now, I can't swim, so I guess it would be a problem if there was an issue. Just one of those things I can't do. As a kid, I almost drowned, and after that, I learned that I'm not a swimmer, so I stayed away from it. But a cruise ship is supposed to be fun. This, I kid you not, as I read this, as a fight broke out on a cruise ship. It ended up, if I read the story right, I don't know how many stories a ship is, but it went from one level to another, all because of a love triangle. Kid you not, Daily Mail reporting this morning of the fight. And again, on a cruise, it's supposed to be relaxed. None of this kind of stuff. As we look at a quick snippet here, this is the scene as a big brawl broke out. And the fight went on and on and on. Took over an hour before they broke all of it up and ended the entire thing. You just wouldn't expect that on a cruise ship, would you? It did happen. Texas. As we watch daily across America, what we've been taught as kids, and it's almost, you wake up one morning and you go, am I still in America? Truly, I have often thought that as you look at some of the laws that are passed in some of our more, I don't know if you call it left cities or people that, I don't know how to word it, California states, so to speak, in that way. But Texas, as we all know, if we watch the population of people move from California and liberal states in New York that think a little bit differently than a conservative, maybe that's a good way to put it, as they start trying to influence laws in other states. Well, you left where you were because it was so bad, and then you bring your thoughts there. But this one is one of those, you scratch your head. A father stood up at a school board meeting and asked, in a Texas school, he was slamming them because they have banned all dresses and skirts and blouses. And the father stood up and he goes, do I have to ask permission for my daughter to be a girl, for her to wear a dress? It just goes on and on and on, and I won't go into the rest of what happens across America each day. Bathrooms should not be shared. There's bad people on both sides of each sex that prey on people that are not expected it. That's my stance on that. A lot of people don't believe that. Boy, boy, boy. That's a few of the headlines across America this morning. Some of them you knew about, some of them you didn't. It'll be more. We're going to have a big show coming up at 8 o'clock. Now let's get into weather this morning and find out what's going on, how it's going to shape your day, and what you expect. We'll do that next here, all on the way at the Scotty Ray Report. Don't rush off.
H&H Residential of Meridian is your #1 carpet and flooring store. If you've been thinking of a new look for your home or office, call for a free estimate or consultation. H&H can install or you can do it yourself. H&H has all of your design needs from color, style, and texture. If you can dream it, H&H can make it a reality. Come see the large selection of hardwood flooring, laminate, vinyl, and even carpet. H&H Residential of Meridian, open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4, 321 Hawkins Crossing Road. Call Rosemary anytime, 601-462-9541.
Greg's Fireworks in the Clarkdale community is celebrating 26 years in the business. Open daily through July 5th with the lowest prices and the largest selection around. Did I mention that it's air conditioned? From 500-gram cakes to sparkles for kids, gender reveals, and wedding sparklers. For the lowest prices, new fireworks, and a large selection, you gotta go to Greg's. 145 South in the Clarkdale community. Family owned and operated, and don't forget to say hello to Bo Cephas. Good morning. It's 6:53, right now 72 in the Meridian areas. You wake up. A high of 88 is where expected. 70% chance of rain, so take along a jacket, umbrella, something that you can cover up with if you got to be out in it a little bit. It will be warm. As always, 88's not cold, is it? As we go to Meridian Honda radar, this is our scene this morning. We'll talk about this here in just a moment, where possibly we'll have something. As we zoom into the state of Mississippi, we already see the rain. Whew, that's a lot of it coming down on Highway 90 there, Gulfport, Biloxi, these areas around Pascagoula. Starting to see some showers there in Richardson, Mississippi, and light showers in Hattiesburg. As it moves up, we now start to see a little bit of a shower in eastern Clark County. Taylorsville getting some showers there as we look at that. No rain in the Meridian area yet. Jackson, all good as we move north through Philadelphia and Kemper County, all the way up to Stark Vegas. All looking good so far, but that won't be forever. We'll have some rain showers before the day is out. Nothing serious. Look at all the fog that we've got. Valdosta, Georgia, Douglasville on the outskirts there. Brunswick, getting a little bit of fog there. Columbia, South Carolina, also at Asheville, all the way up this east coast. It gets really thick here the further you go up here. Charlotte, Wilmington, those areas there. In the Carolinas, a lot of fog this morning. As we back out and we look across here, a few showers across Minnesota this morning. Still some fog up in Seattle. More showers there going through Utah. In Colorado Springs, Grand Junction, those areas got some light showers today. Flagstaff, there you go. And again, we'll get into this all about the what's going on with the tropics here in just a moment. We do have some showers there at Galveston, Houston, those areas this morning as well. Nothing major. All of the heavy or serious weather will be up in the northern part of the nation. Nothing close to us in the deep south this morning. All right, let's get into the forecast now.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Our record highs, record lows, 1931. 101 was the record set on this date. The low was 55 degrees, set in 23. As we move forward to take a look at today, this is what we've got, 88 for Meridian. Heavier showers to the south of Meridian. Looks like Clark County and also down through Jones County and all this through Jasper will get more. We'll have light showers to the Meridian, Newton area, back over to Scott, northward, all the way up through Columbus, those areas. But we'll look for heavier rain south of here. High in Hattiesburg today, 86. We'll get to 89 over in Vicksburg. Natchez, about 88 there. As we go east into Alabama, south of Tuscaloosa, heavier showers as well. North of there, Birmingham will see 86 today. But no matter where you go, remember these streets will be wet periodically. We don't want you to wreck there. As we look at this, temperatures, it's going to be hot for the next 6 to 10 days. It's not getting a break. We see something out in California, but it's nowhere near the deep south, is it? Now, this is our breakdown of the forecast of what we've got for the next 7 days. Our high today, 87 to 88, is what we're expecting. A 60 to 70% chance of rain. This should occur after 2 o'clock is what we're expecting there. By tonight, showers should end by 10 p.m., and then we'll end the week again with more rain. 70% chance of rain tomorrow is what we'll get, and this will move in after lunch tomorrow, around 1 o'clock. As we move into the Saturday, not much different. This will happen after lunchtime on Saturday, around 12, some showers there. We move into Sunday, a high of 91, 40% chance of showers, and the same for the 4th of July as we look at that. 40% chance of showers is what we'll have there. Lingering all the way through Wednesday. Do y'all see that? 30% chance of showers still in there. Let's go another week into July. We'll go all the way through the 14th, about midway there. Temperatures start to rise back up after we get about mid-month. We'll be in those low 90s and then jumping back to 95. We haven't seen the heat yet, have we? But it's coming. As we look at what's going on in the tropics, and we'll go back to the radar to look further at this, we have a 40% chance of this system right here that's getting ready to go into Texas, a 90% chance of this going into Mexico, and this is downgraded. This is one that could have affected us. Now, it could change. It's at 10% at this point as we look at the forecast of what's going on. Now, let's go back to radar and pull this up and show you exactly what is expected with our spaghetti models as we pull this back up on Meridian Honda radar. This is that system here that's going to come in, and Corpus Christi sort of looks like where it will most likely go. It could go Bay City, Corpus Christi, right along here on the Texas coast, and then it will come in, go due north to Texas, and then it'll take a right-hand turn just above Arkansas, go through Wichita, those areas there, over toward Charleston before it goes back out. Nothing major. This is the one down here that is at 90%. Right here's what we're looking at right there. This has got 40-mile-an-hour winds today. It is a tropical storm. Its name is 2 at this point. Gusts of 52 miles an hour moving west at 21 miles an hour. It's going to go into Mexico and not be a threat for the Gulf at all. So that's the good news on that. And this should stay far away after she comes out of Mexico, away from my area there. And again, this next system is back down in here. It hasn't developed anything yet. That's what we're watching and what we've got going on with the tropics this morning. Nothing too serious. We'll keep a close eye on all that to make sure it stays that way as well. Well, let's look at this, our fishing report this morning as we go back to Chet's Paint and Body to end the month of June. Your best time to fish today is going to be this afternoon around 2:30 to 4:30 there. It'll be cooler. Won't be so bad there. Our wind's going to be light, east wind becoming east-southeast, 5 to 10 miles an hour if you're going to be out in that, so you know exactly what's going on with it. That's a quick look at our forecast this morning of what's going on in and around the area with some news headlines. Again, we'll be back in roughly 1 hour from now. Candace is coming in. We look forward to having her. We need your comments, all of that. We can't do it without you, and we certainly appreciate it. Again, we'll be back in an hour, and thank you for dropping by, sharing part of your morning with us. We'll see you soon as we'll kick into the morning show beginning at 8. Be back and join us here at the Scotty Ray Report.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: